Hello, Dr. Stauber and class. I hope everyone's doing good and staying safe. My name is Monica Soto Mendez. In my presentation, we will be discussing the adverse health effects of high voltage cell towers, the effects they have on our bodies, and why generally they are built near or around low socioeconomic neighborhoods. So let's get started. So again, the exposure we'll be discussing today is the long, constant term effects of exposure to high voltage cell towers. Our book mentions that non-ionizing radiation refers to radiation that has enough energy to move atoms in a molecule around or cause them to vibrate, but not enough to remove electrons. And because this is new technology, we don't really know the long-term effects of living near a high voltage cell tower until a long time, probably even in a few decades, and probably by then the effects will be irreversible. So the exposure and health effects. Long-term and close exposure to high energy radiation can cause damage to DNA inside the cells. According to the American Cancer Society, a person who is close to the source of radiation every day from high voltage cell towers is more likely to experience health issues caused by radiation like headaches, memory loss, birth defects, cardiovascular problems, and cancer. And there's also a large body of data from labs and epidemiological studies showing that previous and present generations of wireless networking technology have significant adverse health impacts. So, where did my information come from? It came from the CDC. They have a whole section called Radiation and Your Health, and it divides all different types of radiation and details information about them. Also, the American Cancer Society, they have a lot of articles about this. Our class book, Essentials of Environmental Health, second edition. And then I found two articles through our GSU database library from two articles. One is from Science Direct, and it's called Adverse Health Effects of 5G Mobile Networking Technology Under Real Life Conditions. And this one was actually done like here, and it was written by researchers here in Georgia. And then the other article came from ProQuest database, and it's titled High Power Cell Tower Radiation Hazards in Public Health. And then everything, all my references are listed in the last page. So, what triggered or intrigued me to research about cell towers? Well, near where I live, it's an up and coming area where I actually see gentrification happen right before my eyes in southwest Atlanta. Not too long ago, we saw that there was a new high 5G high voltage cell tower that went up, and nobody around the community was actually informed. And a lot of the neighborhoods around southwest Atlanta are in the low socioeconomic status. And as you can see in the pictures on the slide, this tower is like really, really close to a lot of houses. You can't really tell by the trees, but it's really, really, really close. It's literally like on their backyard. The next slide, we have a visual of where like 5G falls on the electromagnetic spectrum. The newest generation of cell phones, the 5G, will operate near the highest frequencies of radio on the radio wave spectrum. So, cell phone towers are regulated by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, and with the passing of the Georgia Senate Bill 66 that creates a statewide regulation for cell phone companies to set up 5G technology equipment on public land. Generally, power plants and cell phone towers are placed in low income neighborhoods, and they intentionally do that because they knew that it's harder for a community to come together and petition against it. A high voltage is less likely to be placed in a rich area like Buckhead or Alpharetta. So I really like this quote from the Rural Development Manager for the Equal Justice Initiative. She said cell towers and other devices that emit transmissions that cause health issues generally end up in communities of color poor communities and other marginalized communities. So this kind of goes into like the health disparities. Kind of go back to kind of go back where I said they're not going to place these towers near like Buckhead or Alpharetta. So they kind of like, they're taking advantage of the people that live in these low socioeconomic communities. Ways to decrease the hazard. Well, I think that these neighborhoods and communities are already in a disadvantage, and I feel like little can be done already at this point. Like in the personal case, the tower that already went up without notification. I mean, it's already up, and especially with the passing of the bill, I feel like it's going to be harder for communities to get it taken down because now they have the support of like politicians and the government. But I found just a few ways that I guess coming together as a community to petition against the placement of high voltage cell towers, also staying a safe distance away from these towers if possible, regularly attending town meetings and voice out community concerns, demand notice or change from government officials. Okay, and then the last page is just my references. And thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions or concerns, please email me below. Thank you.